So, lads, today we're going to be talking about something, and it is straight up a ESPN know nothing about the WNBA. No, absolutely nothing. And I'm going to be honest here. I'm somebody that my job right now is to make content about the WNBA. Well, it's a large chunk of my job. A large chunk of my job right now is to do that. Obviously, I make another bunch of content, for other things, do a bunch of other little things to make some money, but the majority of it does come from this. So I'm going to be completely honest here and say that ESPN knows nothing. First of all, we saw the fact that ESPN do not have Awafam in their mock draft for 2026. Awafam is projected to go anywhere between 1 and 3 in the draft. She's projected to go anywhere between 1 and 3. They do not have her in the mock draft. Just like, do you want to know where ESPN had Dominique Malonga this time last year? 14. They barely had her as a first round pick. And the reason why Hailey Van Lith is here, if you guys did not see it. So, I am going to say this right here. This is all that I can say. Obviously, look, this is like the Chicago Sky have got a starting lineup. We all know who forward their starting five is going to be. It is Courtney Vandersloot, who they are paying a max contract to bring in to try help their two young bigs. Because realistically, they didn't have the right point guards beside Angel and Camilla last year. They didn't. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Dana Evans and Lindsay Allen were not the right point guards beside the two of them. Even Kennedy Carter, the only person that really passed the ball was Marina Mabry. And the Chicago Sky need to see whether or not that combination is going to work. And the only way you can tell that for a fact is by giving them a point guard that will actually feed them the ball and will give them a shot. Because the Chicago Sky they don't have their pick this year. It's a free hit. They can be as good or as bad as they want because they have the Connecticut Suns pick. But this is who ESPN projected. And by the way, they also traded the number 3 pick in the draft, the number 3 pick, and a pick swap in 2027 for Ariel Atkins, who was an all-star. So you'll be thinking their whole offseason free agency was to get Courtney Vandersloot. In Ariel Atkins, they have their all-star guard. So which of these do you think ESPN has coming off the bench? Which of Courtney Vandersloot or Ariel Atkins, their number 1 free agency target they really push for, coming off the bench for Hailey Van Lith? Their 10th pick in the draft. Who's the 10th pick in the draft? Who's the 10th pick in the draft? The 11th pick in the draft. Wasn't even their 10th pick. They didn't even use her with their top pick. They used her with their second pick. The 11th pick in the draft. The 11th pick in the draft last year was Puach from Australia. She did not play at all. The 12th pick, the only player picked below Angel Reese in last year's draft that got any sort of burn in the playoffs was nobody. Elisa Peely didn't get any burn. The French players were in French. Puach didn't come over. Marquisha Davis didn't play. Deja Fair got cut. Nika Mule didn't play. Kate Martin didn't play in the playoffs. So, based off the expectation, very few. And especially game 1. So, which of these do you guys think is coming off the bench for Hailey Van Lith? That's a trick question. Both of them. They actually said the Chicago Sky are going to start. Michaela Onyeawere is a possibility. Because between her and Beck Allen, I still think Beck Allen's probably going to start. Beck Allen is a better shooter. Beck Allen, again, a really good defender. She was a starter on a Mercury team last year. She's been a key contributor on playoff teams in the WNBA. She was good enough that they used her as a make weight in the Jonquel Jones trade. She was a big-time player for, am I right in saying she was a big-time player for the Connecticut Sun when they did really well? When they made the semifinals and they were the 3rd seed overall, only behind the Aces and the Liberty when they were both absolutely killing it. Yeah, she was a starter on that Connecticut Sun team. Looks like she started the 4 when Bree Jones was out. Or maybe, would she have started the 5? Because I would assume they would have had Dawana Bonner, herself, Alyssa Thomas, maybe Dejanay didn't start or not. And then I think Nisha Heidemann was starting point guard that year. Either way, she was a starter on a team 2 years ago that made it to the semifinals and were one of the better teams in the WNBA. She was a starter last year in the Mercury. So Beck Allen might be starting, but it's not crazy to say it. But you have literally said Rachel Bannum is going to start. Rachel Bannum is going to start. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? Like, these people don't know any ball. If you're predicting Hailey Van Litte's sitting on the end of the bench. I'm sorry, she's sitting on the end of the bench. I like Hailey Van Lith. I'm happy she was drafted. I think eventually there's a good WNBA player in there. The reason why I didn't want her to go to the Sky is because she's going to be sitting her ass on the end of the bench for the Chicago Sky. Starting lineup, projected starting lineup, whatever about Hailey Van Lith. Rachel Bannum over Ariel Atkins, whatever about Van Lith over Sloot. You can say, oh, Sloot's old, Sloot's there. But Sloot literally was brought in to help their two bigs. Hailey Van Lith is the opposite. We've seen what Hailey Van Lith does with no spacing. It was LSU. And it was horrendous. Hailey Van Lith needs a certain type of an offense, a pace and space offense, which ironically is the way Tyler Marsh wants to play. But I don't know if that's going to be possible right now with their two bigs right now. But Hailey Van Lith starting. Like, what are we doing? They've literally said, whatever about Sloot, Ariel Atkins. Like, I saw the tweet from 22 Clark. This was a couple of hours ago. And obviously I was recording live stream. But ESPN analysis looks more AI generated. This is literally, do you guys not remember the AI generated mock draft? Where they said Sanaya Rivers was an elite offensive player but a poor defender. Where they mixed up Juste Jacite and Aisha Sivka. I still don't know how to pronounce her surname. I watched her playing in the French league. They were saying Sivka. They call her Siuka in the draft. And they call her Siuka when she's playing for a national team. But they call her Sivka the entire year in France. I still don't know how to pronounce her name. But she's more likely to start than Rachel Bannum. This has to be AI. They sent their first round. Imagine thinking they sent their first round pick to come off the bench. Imagine thinking, yeah, they took the 3rd overall pick with an all-star. Like, let's not forget who Ariel Atkins is. And it's bad enough now that I just saw this 10 minutes ago. WNBA fans call out insanely bad Courtney Vandersloot take from ESPN. There's an entire article being written about this like 10 minutes ago. Try and understand if this is real or fake, because are they going to leave Sloot on the bench? Imagine thinking they sent their first round to come off the bench. This shows media's clueless at times. I mean, I'm going to talk about it again, but to be fair, the media did say, like, I'm going to be reacting to the Athletic saying that Paige Bueckers led the nation in assists in college. With 4 assists per game, by the way. How does Courtney Vandersloot look? How does this guy look like? Whatever. This could very well be an AI article. This is the easiest article in the world. This is the easiest content to make. Someone from ESPN saying something wild. It's the easiest content to make. Just know what you're talking about. Like, people making up fake stats. Making up, not only fake stats, just making up things. And just talking nonsense. It's like saying the Fever are going to start Michaela Timpson because she looks good in preseason. She's going to start day 1. Or, I don't know, Malonga is going to start over Neko Wumake to start game 1. And that's more likely than Hailey Van Lith starting over Sloot, or especially Rachel Bannum starting over Ariel Atkins. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna show you guys what Ariel Atkins stats were last year. We're gonna look at Ariel Atkins stats versus Rachel Bannum. So Ariel Atkins is a champion. Until Leonie Phoebus broke it this year, Ariel Atkins held the record for most points in a playoffs for a rookie. She is a 2-time All-Star, all-defensive first team, 4 by all-defensive second team. She's only 28 years old. And obviously, she's been a starter her entire career in Washington, including when they won a championship. She averaged 11 points per game as a rookie for a good team. Averaged 10.3 points per game for a... Oh, no, sorry. Maybe... Did they get to the finals in 2018? They must have got to the finals in 2018. She averaged 15.2 points per game in the playoffs as a rookie. And Rachel Bannum, I'll admit this, Rachel Bannum had one very good game when she played for the Connecticut Sun last year. She had a really good game for the Sun last year. But on the season, she averaged 5.7 points per game. And that's only because she started letting it fly. She started letting it fly towards the end of last season. She was averaging 2 points per game before she went to Chicago. It was 4.8 points per game. But again, did not play in every game. And if you look at her game logs, like, she would have 14, 0, 9, 0, 10, 17, 22, 2. She had a 24-point game out of nowhere. 3, 0, 2, 3. Rachel Bannum is a flamethrower. But that's it. That's all Rachel Bannum is. She is a flamethrower shooter. Not a bad bench player. But, like, this is either AI or people don't know anything about sport. And I have a feeling that it is because they believe their readers don't know anything about the sport, that they write with AI. That's my prediction. But anyway, I'll see you guys.